Hi there. I hope this is working. Instagram's been giving me messages that it's having trouble. But here we go. Brushes, brushes, brushes. Brushes are the connection between your mind, your heart, your hand, and what is going to be coming out on that canvas. This is, in a sense, our voice as a painter, right? Sometimes my voice can be thin, sometimes it can be thick, sometimes it can be flat, sometimes it can be round and curved. And this is cool because the variety of mark making from a particular brush means the extent of your voice. If you have an acoustic guitar, you have a certain limited number of functions, assuming you're not going through a pedal effects board. If you are an electric guitar player and you're playing through lots of effects, obviously that scope is going to be much more. So the brush that we pick is going to make a difference in the overall effect, the image making that we're doing. So I wanted to show you some of the pieces I've worked on lately and kind of describe to you the brushes that I've used. The one that I've been waving around in front of your face is the first one here. This is a first layer sketch. You can see this white stuff here. That is the white of the canvas. I haven't introduced white in any of the flesh tones. And this brush here that I was waving around, I did 95 or more % of this painting. You can see I've scratched out part of it. I'm erasing. And the other brush that I used there is something similar to this small guy here. That's what I did these little details with. But notice these black marks, his whole face kind of snaps into place just from these quick boink, 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 done, right? So I like making lots of big, bold shapes and moves. And you can see here, the hog's hair bristle is actually carving in to the thicker impasto type paint that I used on there. It's not liquidy, it's thicker and it stands up and has body. And that's what enables me to draw with this kind of scratchy feeling here. I'm actually kind of carving away some of the pigment after I put it down. If I had tried using a smooth brush, that would not have worked out very well. Speaking of smooth brushes, I did the vast majority of this painting with this brush. Right? Thin, square, but also with a tip, because then I could go in and get into some of these kind of nooks and crannies that I couldn't with other brushes. And I did the lining work, the smaller detail, with this kind of a squarish tip. There you go, that's a good shot. But notice none of these brushes are real perfect. It has kind of splayed out bristles on the end. And I like that kind of thing. Obviously, it gives a certain amount of liveness that I'm going for in my paintings. And I also used the same flat brush to do this entire block in. Now notice the scale between these two, pretty significant in terms of capturing facial details. I couldn't do that on the smaller version because look at that, it's wider than his whole leg, let alone facial details. But over here, because the scale's bigger, I can totally get in all these little areas, which I really loved. I like just having one brush and just doing everything. This was a bit more runny paint, and you can tell it had some kind of grit to it because it was clinging to itself. It dried rather quickly, and that enabled me to do this kind of layering effect here where the whites are kind of a second layer, but it was all wet into wet. And last of all, we have this guy that I was working on yesterday. I didn't do all of it with this brush, but this little guy right here, notice it's smooth and not hog's hair. This is a golden tack-long. Yeah, I break rules. This is like a watercolor brush. But it has nice smooth bristles, and that enables me to get this kind of small, soft detail that I'm getting up here. I don't know what it is about me with guys facing left with facial hair. I don't know, but I love painting those kind of guys. Anyway, hope that's helpful. Something we didn't get a chance to talk to in this video that we will talk about on Friday is the relationship between your brush and the consistency of paint that you're using, because obviously those two things very, very close together. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.